Shalom, Yasharal. I want to give infinite honors to Yahweh Yahweh Shai. I want to give double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in Yahweh Shai, pushing his truth across the four winds in these blessed last days, seconds, and times, making their call and election sure, laboring for their penny, which is the kingdom of heaven, being that we have to labor into their rest. Shalom to you, brother, you sincere Akim. I'm going to go through, I'm going to make this one quick through the spirit and show that my Heavenly Father, man, he always had the so-called white man in his trick bag, all right? We're living out a script, all right? This life we're living out is a script. It's a movie script, and it's documented in the scriptures, all right? We're living out this movie. And in this movie, man, our Heavenly Father raised up this subtle serpent and let it grow into a great red dragon so he could show off his power, his majesty, his glory, so the peoples of the earth will be willing in the day of our power to submit to us, man. All right? The so-called white man is just built up to rule for a short time. It seems long, all right? 400, 500 years seems long, but it's only for a short time, because that's what the scriptures depict. Here we go. This is Revelation 23. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should not deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years shall be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. See, this is that little season we're living in from the Renaissance period to now, which has been about 600 years at the most, from the 1400s to now. Excuse my mathematics if it's off. All right, but 500, 600 years, okay? That's it. This is a little season that he's been risen up to rule in the kingdom of men. All right, and he cannot exceed the bounds that our Heavenly Father has set for him to do. He can only do what our Heavenly Father has put him up to do. All right, his power really isn't no power at all. All right. It's just the way the Most High orchestrated things for the last days for prophecy to be fulfilled. This is Daniel 4:17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones. All right. The men of the Lord are the watchers. All right. We the ones that wait for when Yahweh Shema Shai to give us a word to pronounce to the peoples of the earth and let them know what's going to happen before it happens. All right. And right now, the Most High is using his men to edify the elect, okay? To teach the elect the truth of the scriptures. And that's what we're doing. We're showing you, man, that the so-called white man is in the Most High's trick bag, all right? That's why you shouldn't be scared of death. The worst thing the white man can do is put you to death, all right? That's it. That's the worst he can do you. And when you understand the scriptures that we live forever, all right, that your spirit is eternal, and you're going to be back, all right, hey, it's nothing, all right? If you die honorable death for the testimony of Yahweh Shema Shai, you're going to come back and be a ruler in the planet Earth. You're going to rule over him for 1,000 years, okay? To the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and give it to whomsoever he wills and set it up over the bases of men. And the so-called white man is the basis of men that the Most High is raised up to show his power in the last days. All right, so the inhabitants of the earth will fear him because they don't fear him right now. They think it's a game. This is John 19:10. Then said Pilate unto him, speakest thou now unto me? Knowest not that I have the power to crucify thee and to have power to release thee? See, and that's what the so-called white man think. He's a carnal man. He doesn't have understanding of spiritual things. The scriptures say the fool said in his heart that there's no power. All right. So he think he really has all power. All right. That's what's going to make his fall so beautiful, because he think it's him and none else. All right. Verse 11. And Yahweh Shai answered and said, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given from above. You see, the Most High is the mover and shaker in the kingdom of man. The Most High says what's going to go. He's the shot caller. All right. That Roman, that great red dragon, is only Our great king telling you right here. All right. The only reason it's so great and rare and powerful is because it was given from above. All right. This is Job 9:24. All right. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's giving it to him? All right. The Most High. All right. That's what we just read in Daniel 4:17. All right. The Most High raise up men and raise up kingdoms and take them down. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? But the Most High is the one that has given this kingdom, given the earth into the so-called white man. All right. And he's been prideful because of that. All right. Let me show you how the Most High got him in the trick bag. All right. Let's start from the book of Genesis. All right. Let's start from the book of Genesis. I'm going to go to Genesis 27:38. All right. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Now let's show you how to deceive and the deceiver are his. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling place shall be the fatness of earth, and the dew of the heaven from above, and by the sword thou shalt live. All right. And he's saying by the sword thou shalt live. Now let's see what the universal law is by living by the sword. Okay. Let's see what the universal law is for living by the sword. Okay. Here we go right here. This is Matthew 26:51. And behold, one of them which were with Yahweh stretched out his hand, that was Peter, and drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Verse 52. Then said Yahweh unto him, put up again thy sword in his place, for all that take up the sword shall perish with the sword. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High so-called blessing to the so-called white man, the nation of Edom, the Hebrew Edomites, Esau, is a trick. All right, is he's in a trick bag. He's gonna live according to the sword, but he's gonna perish by the same sword that he's living by. Look, watch this. This is Isaiah. The Most High he's comical. All right. This is Isaiah 54:16, and it reads, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. All right. The Most High created the so-called white man. He created Robert Oppenheimer. All right. And the smith is a person that makes weaponry. Okay. And what did Robert Oppenheimer do? He split the atom bomb. All right. Where they had the technology, the genesis of the technology to create nuclear fire, nuclear bombs. All right. And they're bringing forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. So the Most High created this devil to make this abominable weapon to do what? Destroy himself. Because that's what the so-called white man lives by, his military might and his weaponry. All right? This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 3, and it reads, all right? And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the beast say, come and see. All right. And there went out another horse that was red. All right. The so-called white man. You read that in Genesis, the 25th chapter. Esau came out all red, all over like a hairy blanket, like a hairy garment. All right. And power was given him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And that there was given to him a great sword, and that's that nuclear missile, all right? That's going to bring him his untimely demise, okay? And it's not an untimely demise, all right? All right, he's overdue. He's good and overdue. He's ripe. He's ripe for the picking, man, okay? But the Most High deceived him, man. He's deceived, all right? What else the Most High say? He say he resisteth the proud. Let me find that scripture. It's in the book of James, the 4th chapter. I don't know exactly where it's at. Thought it was in James. Bear with me, Aki. All right, bear with me. I'm gonna get it. This is what we do. We surgical with these Bible engines, man. All right. Yeah, I knew it was in James. I was tripping. All right, this is James 4:6. But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he said, Yahweh resisteth the proud, but he give grace unto the humble. All right, now let's see who is the most proud. Okay. It's in Jeremiah 50 or 51, but I don't know exactly. All right. Let's see. Let's see who the Most High really hates. If he resists the proud, how about the most proud? Okay. This is Jeremiah 50 and 31, and it reads, Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord of hosts, for the day is come, that the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and devour all round about him. Now let's see who is this talking about, O most proud. Okay? That the book of Jeremiah 50 and 51 is talking about the destruction of America, man. All right, this is Obadiah 1, and I'm going to start at 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee. All right, this is talking about Esau. This is talking about the nation of Edom, the so-called Americans, white people, red people, and all of the so-called Europeans. Their biblical nationality goes back to this chapter right here, the nation of Edom. They are Hebrew Edomites. All right, the pride of thy heart have deceived thee. They are the most proud. These Hebrew Edomites on the planet Earth, that dwelleth in the cliff of the rocks. These are cavemen. That's their origin. That's where they come from. Whose habitation is high. They stayed in the caves. They were driven from amongst men into the caves. They say in their heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Who says that? America. Who they say the few, the proud, the Marines. They don't think nobody could bring them down, just like ancient Rome. Okay? Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, all right, what's this nation's bird? A fucking eagle, all right? And though thou set thyself amongst the stars, when you look at the American flag, what do they got? Stars. Thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord. And those stars are talking about, they got those NASA got all those satellites and shit up there amongst the stars. The Most High say he's going to bring them down, the most proud. They're in this trick bag, okay? Okay? You can't get around it. They got to go. This is Isaiah 10 and 12. I'm going to leave off on this one. Wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord hath performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and Jerusalem. See, this is the movie. All right? When we get to the climax of the movie, when the Most High has purged the elect and sealed the elect, all right? And purified us and turned us into chaste virgins. All right. He said, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria. All right. The so-called white man is likened to Egypt, Assyria, Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. All of the captivities we went in, America is all of them rolled up in one enchilada. So in this scripture, liken this to the nation of Edom. All right. And the glory of his high look. See, he's proud. All right. The most proud. This is what the Most High say he's going to do. He's using him as a whipping stick. Let me go to verse 5. All right. He raised him up, O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and staff, and in the staff in their hand is my indignation. That's what he was risen up for. All right. To discipline the nation of Israel for disobedience. All right. So the Most High used the basis of men to rule it over the greatest people on earth so they can learn righteousness. All right. Verse 13, for he said, by strength of my hand, I have done it, and by my wisdom. That's what the so-called white man thinks. Okay? For I am prudent. I have removed the bounds of the people and have robbed their treasures. Who is this talking about other than the devil? And have I put down their inhabitants like a valiant man. Now look, it's somebody else that spoke like that, lofty like that. Let's see who else spoke lofty like that. This is Daniel 4 and 30. And let's see what happened to him. The king spake and said, is it not the great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? And while the words was in the king's mouth, there a voice fell from heaven saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be as the beasts of the field. That's the same thing the Most High is going to do to the so-called white man, because he's walking in that same pride, and he thinks and rocks out to that vibration. And they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen. He's going to be a beast of the field in the kingdom. All right, and 7 times shall pass over thee. He's going to drink up that cup we drank over to the second power. All right, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. See, that's what this is all about. The Most High is letting this devil rise up in the great power so the Most High can show his power and give it to whomsoever he will. All right? And I'm going to show you in another place. It's written in another place. Romans 9 and 14. And it reads, all right? What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Yahweh? Yahweh forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on who I will have mercy, and will have compassion on who I will have compassion. So it is not him that willeth, or he that runneth, but Yahweh that showeth more mercy. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee. See, the Most High raised up this great red fucking dragon, the Roman Empire, and let it be revised and rebirthed through America, and gave him this great military might. All right, and let him push that fucked up democracy across the planet Earth. And he let NATO come into power, the UN, and he let all this great red dragon push this beast system, all right, where the people on the earth are scared of it, all right, so he could show his great power, okay? And that my name might be declared through all the whole earth. See, when they see the Most High, our great King, take down this great red dragon, the people are going to fear Yahweh Shema Shah, because look, they fear this dragon. This is look how they look at this dragon. This is Revelation 13. Oh, where's the scripture? I'm about to find it. Oh, it gotta be up here somewhere. Here we go. Yeah, all right. And this is how the people look at the Roman Empire. All right, America, NATO, the white man's power infrastructure. All right, his infrastructure of power. All right. This is how the inhabitants of the earth look at him. This is Revelation 13 and 4. And they worship the dragon. Rome, which gave power to the beast. America, all right, NATO. America, who is the one that pushes this beast system, okay? And they worship the beast, saying, who is likened unto the beast? Who shall be able to make war with him? All right, that's how the people look at America. Like nobody can make war with the beast. Who has this type of power? Who has this nuclear power, this nuclear arsenal, this military might? All right? And then people fear and reverence this damn devil. All right? So the Most High let them get up to that great power so he could take them down so people could reverence him and fear him. All right? It's a movie script. All right? Let me get back to Isaiah 10. All right? Verse 14, and my hand have found as a nest the riches of the people. And as one gathers the eggs that are left, I have gathered all the earth. This is how the so-called white man thinks, man. He thinks he has all power of the earth. All right, he thinks he has dominion of all the peoples of the earth. And there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped. All right? Nobody came up against him. Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth therewith? Now, this the Most High being sarcastic. All right? Can the axe say to the man that's holding the axe, oh, I got more power than you? Or shall the saw magnify itself against he that shake it? Can a tool tell the person that's using the tool, I got power over you? Fuck no. As if the rod shall shake itself against him that lifted it up, or as the staff shall lift up itself as it were no wood. See, the Most High is telling the damn devil, look, I created you. All right? You're in my hand. The heart of the king is in the hand of the Most High. This is what the Most High is basically saying. Where's that passage? This is Proverbs 23:1. That's not it. I'm going to find it. Thought it was 23:1. The heart of the king. Here we go. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. All right? So the so-called white man is the king of the earth. But the Most High controls the so-called white man. All right? He's that rod in the king's hand. All right? That's why the Most High say, you're the rod, you Assyrian. You're the rod, you're the staff that's used to discipline the nation Israel. But guess what? Somebody's holding that rod. Somebody has power over that rod. Okay? Okay? This is Isaiah, back to where we were. All right? Verse 16, therefore shall the Lord, the power of hosts, send among the fat ones leanness, all right? And under his glory shall kindle a burning like the burning of a fire, all right? So the Most High is going to take all that power, that majesty, all that nourishment from the so-called white man. He's going to strip him of his power, all right? He's no longer going to be fat, all right? He's going to go on one of them, he's going to start fasting like Ethiopia, all right? And the light of Israel shall be for a fire, and the Holy One for a flame, all right? The Most High is about to raise up the elect of his people to devour their enemies. And it shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day, all right? And you're going to see it. You're going to see the great power, our great king come from the heavens and take down this devil within an hour, man, all right? And it shall consume the glory of his forest, all right? And his fruitful field, both soul and body. And they shall be as when a stand bearer fainteth. See, he's in the Most High's trick bag. All right, 500, 600 years is a half a second to the Most High. It's nothing, okay? And the rest of the trees of the forest shall be few as a child may write them, okay? And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such a escape out of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote him, all right? And then, who's the one that's smoting us continually? All right? Our adversary, all right? So-called white man, the nation of Edom, and all these confederate nations with them. But he shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. That's why the scriptures say you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And that's what we out here proclaiming, the truth. That the so-called white man is in the Most High's trick bag, and the Most High is going to do this paradigm shift and raise up the nation of Israel to rule perpetually, forever, indefinitely. All right, so with that, Lord willing to sit down was edifying to the hearers. I want to get infinite honors to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem and Karkadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to our fellow laborers in Yahweh Shai, Kwam Yasharala, Abba, Abba.